For the final part of Form 4 Chapter 8, which is 8.4, it's actually about the health issues about our respiratory system, also known as COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Now, pulmonary means like your respiratory system. Obstructive means your respiratory system got blockage, something obstructing it. So usually this will cause difficulties in breathing. So there are two diseases about the bronchial and one about the alveolus. Now the two bronchial one is actually asthma and chronic bronchitis, and the alveolus one is called emphysema. Now for the two bronchial one, right, it will look quite similar. But when I do questions at them, how am I going to identify which is which? Okay, now, if they say, right, the following disease is caused by smoking, tar is smoking, this fellow like to smoke a lot. So smoking usually is actually definitely chronic bronchitis because the tar you smoke like will damage your bronchial. Now, for asthma on the other hand, right, is usually you're born with it. Means your bronchial is naturally more sensitive towards, like, let's say, dust or smoke. So you inhale a little bit dirty things, right? Then your bronchial will become swollen by its own, inflamed by its own. So it's more like a allergic reaction like that. But what to write for exam? Okay, let's say the question says there's this person with asthma. So explain how does this affect his breathing. So usually you're going to say that people with asthma, the bronchial will become swollen and thickened. So usually because maybe they inhale a bit or like dust like that, cause it to have allergic reaction. So it's swollen like that and become thickened. Now in small cases, sometimes there'll be mucus. But our textbook, they didn't write mucus. But let's say that the questions ask more marks, right? Yeah, then you can say there's also mucus secreted. But usually around 2 marks, you don't need to say this. Okay, now if the bronchial swollen and also got mucus, right? The opening of bronchial, you can say, becomes smaller. And also the air passage becomes narrower. So this prevents air from entering the lungs or reduce airflow into the lungs. I give you one more point over here. You can say it reduces airflow into lungs. So when this occurs, usually you see asthma people, they will like cannot breathe like that. So we say this is called shortness of breath. So that's the symptom. And then there's this K-Buck question, so they will ask, right? Okay, those asthma people, you know, right? They always have this inhaler, they sucking already, then after that their asthma will go away temporarily. So the question usually asks, how does inhaler help in asthma patient? Okay, the answer is very simple, not complicated one. You just say that this inhaler has gas that relaxes the bronchial wall. So just now the bronchial becomes swollen, now it relaxes it, so the bronchial will open back up, and that's how air can then enter your lungs. Okay, now for chronic bronchitis, right, the explanation a bit different. Okay, so like I say, first, if the question say this fella smoke, so usually it's caused by tar in cigarette smoke. So since tar is like so toxic, so damaging to your body, right, it will cause your bronchial not just become swollen, but now it's inflamed. So we add one more word, inflame, 发炎了, and also become swollen and blocked. So just now there's not really a lot of inflammation for asthma, but bronchitis got serious inflammation, 发炎 already, because the wall of your bronchus is being damaged. Okay, and then for bronchitis, right, they usually have very large amount of mucus being formed. So it's not just now your airway is swollen, but got mucus blocked also. So this will cause even more difficulty for breathing. And also, since your bronchial is being damaged, the cilium, means the hair on the surface of your bronchial, cannot expel mucus, cannot sweep the mucus out. That's why air cannot go into your lungs. So usually bronchitis will be more damaging, more severe a bit . And the most common symptom is this. It will cause frequent coughing with mucus, means you cough with a lot of phlegm. Okay, you can also say shortness in breath, means this further have difficulty in breathing. And also you can say like wheezing or even tightness in chest also can. Wheezing is like when you breathe and then it's like that . But usually shortness in breath and also frequent coughing with mucus good enough already. Okay, for emphysema, it's about the alveolus. So it's totally different than these two. So very easy to recognize. If the question shows the alveolus are like this damaged already. Okay, it's also caused by smoking. And the explanation, very simple. So now the alveolus wall damage. So when it damages, right, you can see it's sort of like all the walls inside will collapse. So we say the alveolus loses elasticity and collapse. You can see all the walls all collapse and the whole thing they punch it already low form. So then we will say the surface area decreases, and then most importantly, gases exchange become less efficient. Very commonly question like to ask, how does emphysema patient, or how does this disease affects gases exchange in emphysema patient? Yeah, so this is how it affects. Okay, so the symptoms are very similar. You have shortness in breath, you feel tired easily, and so on. Okay, then let's look at an example question over here. So they say there's a person with COPD disease over here in the bronchioles of a heavy smoker. So as we mentioned earlier, if they say smoker, this is definitely bronchitis and not asthma. Because asthma is actually caused by allergic reaction, it's not caused by smoking. Okay, so they actually explain the disease occurred here. So number one, of course, we mentioned the name of the disease. So what's this disease? This disease is called chronic bronchitis. Okay, then explain also what happens to the bronchioles of chronic bronchitis patient. It will become inflamed, swollen, and also blocked. So remember, inflammation very important. So they will be inflamed, swollen, and blocked. Okay, because it's inflamed already, right? You will bengkak. That's why it becomes smaller, blocked already. And then also, right, there'll be a lot of mucus being secreted because when there's inflammation, right, mucus is used to help to kill the bacteria, kill the germs over there. So yeah, there'll be large amount of mucus. Mucus, very important. And because of the cigarette smoke putting out contents, right, damage the wall. The cilium also is being damaged already. So no cilium, they cannot sweep out the mucus. So damaged cilium cannot expel mucus. Alright, and besides that, your airway definitely becomes become narrow. Air cannot pass through already. There's no place already. So therefore, you can say airway becomes narrow, and therefore you can say gases actually very hard to occur. The oxygen cannot be transported. All these kind of things. Or you can really say a symptom also can. Okay, alright, both lah. So I would say therefore causes gases exchange cannot occur efficiently. Or you can name one of the few symptoms, which the most common one is like shortness of breath. So this person breathes also like this. So you can say it also causes shortness of breath. And most of the time, these kind of people, like, they will cough with a lot of mucus, a lot of phlegm. So you can say frequent coughing with a lot of mucus also. Okay, yeah, so that's how you answer bronchitis, which is, you can ask for around 5 to 6 marks in that essay question. Okay, moving on. We look at the emphysema question. So emphysema is totally different than asthma and also bronchitis because it's not bronchial anymore, it's alveolus, of course. So you can see the alveolus, panjit, 漏风了的. That is definitely emphysema. So the disease, we already know. Now, how does this disease then affect exchange of gas? They quite like to ask this thing. Okay, so first, remember, your alveolus has already been damaged. Commonly is by cigarette smoke. So you can say alveolus wall is damaged. Now, when the wall is damaged, right, all the partitions, the wall, just like we say, right, break down, collapse. You can see this all, it loses elasticity and collapses. So exactly like my notes just now. And when that happens, the surface area, that's the most important thing because no surface area, gases actually cannot occur properly. So, surface area, 4 gases exchange decreases, and on top of that, it's also better to then say gases exchange become less efficient because they got ask you how does it affect gases exchange. Then you can say all gases exchange becomes less efficient. Okay, and that's basically how you explain emphysema. And what component is cigarette smoke? The most common is the black color. That's the meaning that damage your alveolus. Okay. So hopefully you're more familiar with the disease kind of question for your respiratory system. So I'll see you in my next video real soon. Bye bye.